On this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq, taking care of bombing victims at a Baghdad hospital. And we look at how Marines maintain their V-22 Ospreys. Don't miss these stories and more in today's FJI. Hello, I'm Air Force Sergeant Braden Smith. Welcome to this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq. When most think of health care in a war zone, they think of injured service members lying on stiff cots and hot tents. But Airman First Class Michael Williams reports that the patients aren't always in tents, and they're not always service members.
In June, an explosion claimed 10 lives at a Sadr City Council meeting. 4 others survived, but with severe injuries. One of those injured was Council Chief Hassan Hussein Shama.
We lost heroes, real men, because they came from their home to rebuild my city. They offered their help in rebuilding project and give funds to rebuild the city. They give their life to rebuild Iraq.
Since the attack, Mr. Shama has been in better health due to the care he's received here with the 86th Combat Support Hospital in Baghdad. The folks of the 86th CASH give care to civilians, Iraqi army and police, and sometimes even insurgents. Not unlike the ones who were responsible for the attack that brought Hassan here.
Identical to everybody that we treat. Every patient that we treat here, we give the same world-class health care, regardless of what their background is.
Normally, the 86th CASH focuses on stabilizing U.S. and coalition forces until they can be airlifted to larger facilities outside the country. For Hassan and the other Iraqis at the 86th CASH, there are no Black Hawk rides in their future, but they know there is no loss of care provided right where they're at.
I feel there is a very good care here. Without you guys and without the help of the American soldiers, I would be dead.
So the soldiers keep working on their grateful patients, knowing they're building a better Iraq, one healthy body at a time.
The aging priest once told me you speak to them with your heart, and you see that in their eyes, and they can tell you the same thing. And so you don't have to speak the language. You just have to know how to take care of people. And so I think that's how that works.
Whether you're one of America's wounded warriors or an Iraqi in need, if you walk through these doors, the folks at the 86th Combat Support Hospital will make sure you receive world-class health care. Airman First Class Michael Williams, Baghdad.
The V-22 Osprey plays a significant role in combat and has the ability to transport more cargo and troops faster and further than helicopters. Airman First Class Priscilla Christensen tells us how the Marines keep the Osprey in the fight.
Range, speed, and versatility are what makes the V-22 vital to the mission in Iraq. But none of it could be possible without the folks on the ground to help keep these bad boys flying.
Keeping up on just day-to-day maintenance and inspections, it wears and tears on the troops, but it's what's necessary for any platform to make sure you have up aircraft to get out there and do what's needed.
Which is transporting cargo and troops in and out of forward operating bases across Iraq.
With the V-22, that's what we're getting done. We're getting over there, we're picking stuff up, and we're moving people around, and we're getting the entire mission over here accomplished in a faster and more efficient fashion.
And the hard-working maintainers get their mission done despite the heat and dust storms.
Especially with having to fly on a daily basis to continue to land in austere environments where the aircraft is completely browned out for several seconds or even up to minutes at a time. And it's putting a very large strain on the engines and the components on this aircraft.
The aircraft itself has a lot more moving parts. The technology is a lot more advanced than a lot of other platforms.
Part of that technology are these tilt rotors, which allow the Osprey to take off like a helicopter but fly like a plane.
I love working on the aircraft. The platform itself is amazing. It's getting a lot done, and in the future, it'll be nice to say I had a part of this program.
The hard work and dedication of the maintainers is paying off. The Osprey is considered the most thoroughly tested and evaluated aircraft in the skies. Airman First Class Priscilla Christensen, Al-Assad, Iraq.
Coming up, soldiers mentor their own while securing the streets of Iraq.
Here's your raid report. U.S. soldiers received a tip that led to detaining a known criminal and discovering 2 weapons caches in the Rashid district of southern Baghdad. The patrol returned to a combat outpost to question the suspect. Coalition forces targeted the home of a suspected senior member of an Iranian-trained special group in Karada. Coalition forces entered the targeted individual's location and detained the man without incident. Forces also found weapons at the location. Acting on a tip, soldiers seized multiple munitions in the Rashid district of southern Baghdad. An explosive ordnance disposal team responded to both events and recovered the munitions. Soldiers conducted an operation and detained 3 suspected criminals in the Shurta community of Baghdad. The patrol returned to a coalition forces base with the suspects for further processing. And that's your raid report. I'm Air Force Sergeant Sarah Bishop.
Here are the latest Operation Iraqi Freedom headlines. At a conference with political, tribal, and international leaders in Baghdad, Iraqi President Talabani emphasized the importance of Iraqi national reconciliation and said the groundwork for a resolution has already been laid. Biometric scans revealed a number of detainees in Iraq have criminal histories in the U.S. More than 365 Iraqis who applied for refugee status with the U.S. turned up as known or suspected terrorists. Brigadier Kerry Wilkes of the multinational force Iraq Energy Fusion Cell says Iraq's electricity production has increased 11% in the first 6 months of 2008. The United Arab Emirates announced it was canceling $7 billion in debts owed to the country by Iraq. Prime Minister Maliki said the cancellation opens new horizons for Iraq's economy. Those are your headlines from around the region. I'm Air Force Sergeant Kevin Nichols.
We are at war, and risks lurk around every corner. Whether you're off duty or in the field, minimizing unnecessary risk is vital to your mission. Wear the proper safety gear, follow the proper safety procedures, make appropriate risk decisions so you can put your efforts where they're needed most. Check it. What gets checked gets done.
Military leadership and the Iraqi Assistance Group must travel great distances, mentoring local ground forces on the way. Air Force Sergeant Josie Weiss introduces us to the Personal Security Detachment, whose mission impact goes beyond the miles.
Briefing for a battlefield circulation around Baghdad, the Iraqi Assistance Group Personal Security Detachment, or PSD, has a lot on their minds. Today's thoughts revolve around more than just the safety of its cargo.
What's important about today's mission is we're teaching the guys who are replacing us on where they need to go, how they need to go about it, and what they need to do in order to ensure that they got a 100% success rate.
Over the last year, the 1st Infantry Division team out of Fort Riley, Kansas, escorted both coalition and Iraqi military leadership over 7,000 miles and completed over 250 missions, citing diversity as key to their accomplishments.
My platoon's a special platoon. It's comprised of medics, mechanics, communication chiefs, scouts, infantrymen, armor, just a whole different composition of everybody that's meshed and trained together. Just making sure that we can shoot, move, and communicate at all times to provide security.
While the transitioning PSD focuses on the mission of securing their passengers, the ones they are protecting have eyes on them. Key figures from Iraqi ground forces observe the skilled security team firsthand, analyzing their actions.
Well, we show them professionalism. We show them, the way our army is set up, so they could take that for their army. Just show them how important it is, to have a safe Iraq.
I see something. I see how they grasp something from our forces. Just setting an example is an awesome way to contribute to that.
They like what we teach them. They like what they take from us. And I've seen throughout the whole year that they are trying to be successful.
Passing on its knowledge to others, this PSD characterizes Army professionalism, motivated by its own success and the future success of Iraq.
I gauge our success as 100%. Everyone's making it home. Mission accomplished.
Air Force Staff Sergeant Josie Wise, Baghdad, Iraq.
And that wraps up this edition of our program. Be sure to log on to mnf-iraq.com, where you can learn all about the progress coalition forces are making throughout the country. If you have story ideas, we'd love to hear them. Just email us at fji@iraq.centcom.mil. From all of us here at AFN and Freedom Journal Iraq, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.